Today, we're diving into something pretty wild, a theory that suggests there's a radical new blueprint for reality itself, one that connects the biggest things we can imagine, like galaxies, to the smallest things, like our own living cells. So let's get into it and explore what the fractal causal theory is all about. So let's start with a really big question. What if the line we draw between, say, biology and physics just isn't real? What if the fundamental rules that shape a spiral galaxy are the exact same ones that tell a cell how to regenerate? That's the core idea we're going to unpack today. But it gets even crazier. Because, look, if we can actually understand these universal laws, the next step isn't just to sit back and observe, right? The next step is to use them, to control them. And this is where the theory shifts from a mind-bending idea into a technology that could literally change the world. Okay, so you might be asking, why do we even need a brand new theory? Well, it's because our current best guess for how the universe works, what scientists call the standard model, is starting to show some serious cracks. There are huge fundamental puzzles that we just can't seem to solve with the physics we have now. And maybe the biggest puzzle of them all is the universe's expansion. We know it's expanding, and not only that, it's speeding up. But here's the kicker. When we try to measure how fast it's expanding, we get two totally different answers, depending on how we look. And that, for modern physics, is a massive, massive problem. And this chart really lays it all out. It's called the Hubble tension. When we look way back at the early universe, we get one number for the expansion rate. But when we measure the universe closer to us today, we get a different number, a faster one. These two numbers should match. The fact that they don't tells us that our physics is missing something absolutely crucial. And that's where this proposed solution comes in. It's called Fractal Causal Theory, or FKT for short. Its supporters claim it's the bridge that can finally connect the dots between the tiny quantum world and the giant cosmos, offering a completely new foundation for physics. So the absolute core of FKT is this really radical idea. Our universe isn't some closed, self-contained box. Nope. It's an open system, and it's constantly being fed energy and information from a higher dimensional space. The theory suggests there are no separate rules for big things and small things, just one universal law that scales up and down like a fractal. So let's define that key term, the bulk. What is it? Well, in FKFT, the bulk is this higher dimensional reality that our universe is embedded in. You can think of it like a hidden engine that's constantly running in the background, shaping our four-dimensional space-time and giving it all the physical laws we observe. Now, look, any new theory can make big claims, but it needs evidence to back it up. And this is where it gets interesting, because FKT says the clues are literally everywhere, from inside an atom to the very edge of the universe. And as our own research keeps finding more weird things the standard model can't explain, FKT is offering predictions that seem to fit these new puzzles perfectly. So we're going to walk through 4 key lines of evidence that the theory puts forward. There's an anchor point in nuclear physics, a link to the quantum world, a solution for those big cosmic mysteries, and a pretty surprising connection to how fluids behave. So let's jump into the first one and see how this case gets built. All right, this might be the boldest and most important claim the theory makes. FKT actually predicts that the nucleus of a specific super-heavy atom, fluorovium, acts like a gateway or a valve to that higher dimensional bulk. The thinking is that the incredible pressure inside this atom's core could actually make the fabric of space-time thin enough to interact with. And if that interaction happens, it should give off a very specific signal. FKT predicts a super precise gamma resonance line at exactly 3.773 mega electron volts. This isn't just a vague idea, it's a hard number, a target. It's a testable prediction that could either prove the whole framework right or bring it crashing down. Now, what's really cool is how FKT tries to solve 2 of the biggest mysteries in all of physics with one elegant idea. You've heard of dark matter, right? Well, FKT says it's not some strange particle. It's just the gravitational shadow that the bulk's pressure casts on our universe. And quantum entanglement, that spooky action at a distance Einstein talked about, that's just information zipping through this deeper connected reality of the bulk. And let's go back to that Hubble tension, the problem we started with. Remember, the standard model is stuck with 2 numbers that don't agree. But look at this. FKT provides a single, consistent value of 71.5. And what do you know? It falls right in the middle of the 2 measurements, potentially solving the whole discrepancy. Okay, let's just pause for a second. If this theory actually holds up, The implications are just staggering. We're talking about a fundamental shift in how we do science, from just being passive observers of the universe to becoming active engineers of its very fabric. Because the ultimate prize is this. If FKT is right, we could learn how to directly interface with the bulk. That would mean we could harness causality itself. The applications in everything from new materials to medicine to space travel would be revolutionary. One of the most mind-blowing applications would be in medicine. The theory suggests things like aging and disease are a kind of causal noise, basically our biological systems losing information over time. A so-called medbed could, in theory, restore a cell's original perfect blueprint, leading to total regeneration, not just treating symptoms. And what about getting around the universe? Well, forget rockets. A gravitational manipulation drive would actively warp the geometry of space-time itself. It wouldn't be traveling through space so much as it would be pulling space towards it. We're talking about true, practical interstellar travel. Now, I know all of this sounds like it's straight out of science fiction, but the theory has now reached a critical moment. It's moving off the blackboard and into the real world, with a direct challenge to the entire scientific community. Prove it. And this is where we are right now. A formal challenge has been issued to major research labs around the world. The demand is simple and direct. Run the experiment. Look for that 3.773 MeV signal in fluorovium. The theory has put its cards on the table for everyone to see and to test. In the end, whether FKT turns out to be a complete revolution in physics or just a beautiful idea that didn't pan out, it leaves us with this really powerful thought, summed up by its guiding motto. One carries infinity within oneself. It's this incredible suggestion that the grandest laws of the cosmos aren't just out there in the stars, but they're also imprinted deep inside every single one of us.